that rhythm.
Welcome to another episode of Who's Your Nerds podcast. Hope you all have your masks on because Chris has COVID,
That's COVID.
and we don't want y'all getting sick. So put your masks on now. That was your first and only warning. But we got Chris, and Tim. We're doing it a little earlier because Chris feels like shit and wanted to get it in early. So here we are.
So I'll tell you. Want me to tell you my COVID story? Since I don't know how.
Yeah, let's get the COVID story out of the way.
I really don't know how I got it, honestly, because whoever I've hung out with doesn't have COVID. So, which is Josie.
I mean, you went
Josie's
to a concert, so that's
right. But it's an outdoor concert, and where are you around a bunch of people that you know what I mean? You're not in breathing distance of somebody.
True.
So,
but it all
I don't know
takes
if
one
maybe
person to
Josie's
cough
a
on you.
carrier and she don't know it.
I mean, that is completely possible.
Because she's not sick. She's not sick. She hasn't had
I had COVID and I wasn't sick when I had COVID. So
really. So yeah, I woke up Friday. Well, I've been sick. I started feeling it Tuesday night, Wednesday, and then Thursday. No, Wednesday night, Thursday is when I started feeling it. And then I worked half a day Thursday is what I did. And then I woke up about 4:30 on Friday, and I was having a hard time breathing. And I'm like, really? Why am I having a hard time breathing? Like I couldn't breathe very well. So of course I waited an hour before I did anything, just to make sure that that it was legit. Like I wasn't having some kind of panic attack or something stupid. So I went to the ER. Now this is the thing that blew my mind. So I go to the ER, right? And I told him, I said, it's just like breathing heavy, I'm having a hard time catching my breath. The first thing, now the nurse asked me this first, and when the doctor came in, he asked me the same question. Have you had the COVID vaccine? That's the first thing they asked me.
it doesn't matter if you have the vaccine or not because you can still catch COVID.
No, but is the vaccine, if I had the vaccine recently, is that the reason that I'm having a breathing issue?
Yeah, because it's a live culture. So
anyway, so I had a fever of like 102. So, I just paid $5,000 to have EKG things stuck to my chest. Now I look like a freaking man-o'-lantern because I ripped that shit off my chest and all the hair went with it, But my EKG came back fine and my chest x-ray came back fine. So I just have COVID. So there went. I had Friday night was First Friday, which is First Friday in Kokomo. They do it every month,
Yeah, because it's the first Friday every week of the month, or every.
Well, they do First Friday. Like they have they're supposed to have a big art display downtown. So Chris was going to display a couple of his photos in this art display, and I couldn't do that. So I spent money on blowing up pictures and getting them matted in frame. I matted them and all that stuff. So I spent all this money, like $100, and I can't do anything. I couldn't display my artwork. I had tickets to Disturbed on Saturday, which luckily I sold those tickets, and I made $12 on my ticket sale. I paid $64 for them, or no, I made $12. I bought them for $64 and I sold them for $76. I got $76 total on the tick pick app.
Every time you say that, I think you say something else.
And I sold them. I looked online, like on there, and they were going for like $60 a piece for one seats. I sold mine for like 40, just so I could get rid of them, and I got my money back, so I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got that taken care of. So I'll have that money's coming this week for my ticket sale. I'm just glad I got my money back. And then I was supposed to go to the lake this weekend because my brother from Florida was in town, but I'm not doing that either. So Mr. Stay at Home had plans all weekend, and he had to stay home all weekend. So there you go. So COVID sucks. I'm still like dragging ass from it. So I didn't go see Disturbed. So I'm kind of upset about that.
Well, did you get some good sleep in at least?
No, because COVID, you don't get good sleep when you have COVID. You have dry cough. It wakes you up at 2:00 in the morning for no reason. You cough your head off. Gives you a sore throat. I finally had a good sleep last night. I think it was the first night I've slept.
Were you taking NyQuil like a big boy?
Mm-hmm. I did. I took NyQuil. Didn't do shit.
Oh, NyQuil knocks me the fuck out.
Well, it should have. It normally does. And for this, it didn't. And I end up sleeping. I end up sleeping during the day. Like yesterday, I slept for like an hour, like from 12 to 1. It was really crazy.
Jeez.
I was wiped out, just tired. But then I went to sleep like normal last night, so I don't know what the deal was. So COVID's stupid. It's out there. Vaccine don't work. Anyway, so don't get it.
Well, you know what they would say, Chris? Well, you didn't get the boosters.
Yeah. Well, didn't but who's it? There's a certain someone that's famous in the White House that's had 5 or 6 different boosters and still got tested positive for COVID. So
Well, and plus he has the mental capacity of a goldfish nowadays too. We don't need Chris over here with the mental capacity of a goldfish.
right.
He already has the mental capacity of a chihuahua.
I'll say it might be a step up in his case, but
You know what? This is true. This is true. But let's get to my notes because I was trying to be organized. Tim, so you're playing Starfield, right?
I am not playing Starfield.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about Starfield. I've played it for a day, so I'm not qualified to give it a full review yet.
It's not out yet, so I haven't played it yet. It's out tonight.
I had a coupon for I got like $20 off, so I was like, I can't pass it up.
Should just did what I said. Go Game Pass.
I know, but it's whatever. So like any Bethesda game, like you were one of the ones I was arguing. I don't want to say arguing. Well, you're one of the ones I was arguing with. I know it was Kyle, but
Kyle.
I am not. I'm not going to say I'm a hater of the game, but I'm very hesitant, and I know I should have waited, but the hype got to me.
A lot of people said that the game gets really good after you
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 hours in. So definitely give it like a good.
yeah. I've only played it for probably 2 hours right now, so I'm going to give it at least before I give it a number. I'm going to give it at least I'm going to beat it at least before I give it a number. But right now, my big thing, right? Before I got the game was it's Bethesda. Bethesda gets so many breaks because it's Bethesda. That's the Bethesda charm. No, I don't care about Bethesda's charm. They are a AAA developer. They're one of the top developers in the world. They should not be given a pass because it's the Bethesda charm with all the glitches. And that was my worry. I did not want to get this game and have all the Bethesda glitches. They have too much money and they put too much time in this game for there to be glitches, like there was in Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout 3 or whatever. And I wasn't arguing that Bethesda has had a lot of misses lately. And I know. They're not developed by Bethesda, but even as the producer or whatever, they still have their hands in the game somewhat. And hold on, I'm gonna get a list of their games up. One moment. I should have been more prepared. I'm trying to be a professional over here. On Wikipedia. I know. Wikipedia, I just want a list. There we go. So I'm gonna start. Let's just start from the latest game, Redfall. I heard it was crap. The Redfall game.
Redfall was trash.
And I know they're just a publisher, and it was developed by Arcane, but they still have a say in the game. Trash. That was their last game before Starfield. Hi-Fi Rush, I'd never heard of it. It's made by Tango Gameworks. Never heard of them. It was on Xbox. It was only on Xbox. So I don't know if it was trash or not. Ghostwire Tokyo, I heard it was trash. Deathloop, I heard it did not live up to the hype. That game was being hyped to death.
Deathloop was a cool little story game, but that's really all it was. It's go through it one time, and then that's it.
Okay. The latest Prey game, they killed a great IP. The first Prey, great game it was a launch game for Xbox 360, amazing game on the Xbox 360. The new Prey sucked. And then Evil Within, they were producers. I know those are okay game. That was an okay game, the Evil Within game. Tango Gameworks also. Wolfenstein, I know Wolfenstein was awesome. But Fallout 4, I will go down saying Fallout 4 was not good
It was
until
okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay.
Fallout Fallout 4 did not get amazing or did not get good in my opinion until Far Harbor came out. Far Harbor added a lot to that game and made it amazing. I thought the Fallout 4 was kind of bland and boring until Far Harbor came out. And let's not even talk about Fallout 76 because we all know Fallout 76 was a piece of shit game.
Yeah, when it came out, it's really good now.
Oh yeah, it's really good now after what 5 years of development.
Yeah, I mean it's been good for a while now.
That is what
took like 2 years for Fallout 76 to be like worth like playing again.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean 5 years. That was more of a No Man's Sky 5 years. But still, my point is
At least No Man's Sky, they have the defense of it's a small ass company. Bethesda does not have that. Does not have that.
The reason No Man's Sky does not get the defense of it's a small company is because it had all the backing of
yeah,
Sony.
but it's still at the end of the day only developed by a handful of people. It doesn't matter if they have the backing with.
I
with
know,
money.
but that is why no one will ever give it the it was a small team. If you had the backing of Sony, that is the problem because people saw it as it was being thrown out there, and the problem was there's a great YouTube video, and I'm going to shout this guy out, the Internet Historian. He does a great video on it of the guy who was the head of the No Man's Sky company has no training on how to do like public speaking, so he just kept talking and talking and talking and not knowing when to shut up. So he kind of did it to himself because he didn't know when to shut up. But I will always say it was. I do agree, Tim. It was a small developer. It was really a small indie developer.
It's a lot smaller of it. Even if it's not like 10 people, like I say, it's definitely not half of what Bethesda has at their disposal.
Bethesda's developing like 4 games at one time. They got so many people. Bethesda's probably got a couple thousand people working for them. But let's get back to Starfield. My problem was I didn't want to buy another Bethesda game and one have the glitches and issues that the other Bethesda games have had in the past. 2, I didn't want to buy the game and have to wait a couple years for it to be in a good state. Like Fallout 4, like Fallout 76. You can argue Skyrim because a lot of the DLC did a lot for that game, but Skyrim launched in a pretty good state.
I mean, even at launch, Skyrim was amazing.
Yeah. But do you get what I'm saying? I didn't want it to be, oh well, you get this game, but you're gonna have to buy 4 DLC to have it be, anything really.
Yeah.
And by 2-3 hours of gameplay I'm in right now, I'm having fun. I am having issues of audio glitches where my game will start to like frame lag, and then the audio will cut in and out, and the game will like freeze and cut. And I've messed with my settings. I've turned VSync on and off. I've dropped my settings down to I have it on the ultra settings with my rig, but I set it all the way to low and was still having issues. So I think it's something with the game, but it might be a day one patch and they fix it. So there is that. I really enjoy the gunfighting. It's the best. One of Bethesda's issues since they started developing Fallout series was they didn't know how to develop or they didn't know how to make a game with guns. Melee combat, magic, bow and arrows, they got that down. But gunfighting, they didn't have a good AI for gunfights. But I think they fixed that. The AI is a little bit smarter. The guns feel good in this game. Granted, I have an issue with Fallout, and this game I want to do it too, where I make a character with 1 intelligence and I go around hitting people with a big stick. It's just what I do in these games. It's fun. Space flight is really fun. It does feel a bit on the rails, but I didn't expect like Star Citizen or No Man's Sky, where it's like a space sim. But it's more of it does feel more on rails, but
Feel like
not at the
in
same
the
time.
chat, though, I feel like they pimped the game as being able to fly around in space like No Man's Sky,
They
and then
did.
it comes out, and yeah, you're flying around space, but you're not flying around in the same manner that I feel like they promised, which is what I
No.
was saying in chat the other night. Like,
Yeah.
saying it's a bad game or anything. I'm just saying I feel like they didn't. They maybe it was just the way that they said it back when, but to me, it was going to be No Man's Sky, but better, but like everything No Man's Sky had, but better of a game.
Yes. That's what they pimped it out. Like you said, that's what they pimped it out as.
Yeah,
But there's no, yeah, you fly around in space, but it's kind of like you can't really go anywhere.
it's like I
Yes, you
said,
can.
it's like an Ace Combat like space shooter thing when you're in space, and that's really all that you do in space besides randomly docking to a ship every once in a while.
Yeah, and I don't know, the space fighting has like punch to it, but at the same time, it felt like we just fly at each other shooting, turn around, fly each other again shooting,
Yeah, like I
and
mean,
then whoever shields give out first.
I've watched plenty of like people streaming and stuff like that, and it's really all there is to the space shit, which is kind of like my favorite thing about No Man's Sky was finding like these like good crazy ships or whatever out in like the wild, whether it was buying them or like discovering them and then upgrading them, and then being able to use those ships and fly around space. Like I could just fly around a planet if I
Yeah,
so choose, but it's
and
not the way it is.
in this game, I don't know from what I've seen online and what I've done, there's no real like planet exploring. Like, yeah, you can land at different places on the planet, but you can't go running across the entire planet like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, got like
And
section.
they kind of promoted it as that. And that is
That's
Bethesda again kind of lying where they're like, yeah, you can explore the whole planet kind of. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it's still like a good game. It doesn't take away from the game.
Yeah.
Like people's it's like, oh, it's getting review bombs, people are giving it like sevens and blah blah blah. Like no, people kind of justify it and giving it it's
I
like
think
sevens and eights because they didn't deliver the exact way that they kind of made
pro-
it seem like they were going to.
I don't want to say promised, but you know how they put if you put it
Yeah,
out there in a press release, it's kind of a promise. Um, but my early review, like much too early review, I would say 6.5, 7 right now. If they fix I would say 6.5 right now. But if they fix the glitch that I'm having, where it makes it kind of hard to play because I'll be in the middle of a gunfight and all of a sudden my frames will start dropping, or like I'm in a conversation with somebody. And my big issue with Mass Effect Andromeda
that's not
was
a PC problem.
what?
Is it sure it's not a PC problem?
No, I looked it up. It's a problem with it's happening on it's I guess it is mostly on PC, but I'm hoping it's a day one patch. But it's kind of remember Andromeda for the longest time had the glitch where the audio did not match up with the characters.
Yeah,
That is the problem I'm having right now with this game, and it is it is
not the
putting me
worst thing,
off.
but it's annoying.
It's not going to kill it like Andromeda didn't kill it for me, but it's definitely going to put me off. But no, if they fix that, it'll probably bring it up to 7. This I haven't done it yet, but I kind of looked at the spaceship design, and that's pretty cool. How you can build your own spaceship, and that is probably the thing that
But if
brought
I
me
can't
into it.
fly around space with it, then it really doesn't matter if I can build a spaceship to me.
True, but I think it's cool. Like maybe one of the future. I hate to say it because I'm falling into the Bethesda fanboy. Put on my Bethesda underwear. Maybe they'll fix. Maybe it'll be a future DLC, kind of like how they expanded the settlement system in Fallout 4 with DLC.
It's like most games now, though.
Yeah, most games you got the full cake, and then oh, you want some
Or
ice
like
cream with that,
90,
or
or like 90% of the cake, and then they
yeah,
leave like maybe they will add that. Like it was a plan, and they were like, you know what? Let's just make it. It's like way back in the day. Remember when? And we played COD 4 together, right?
yeah. COD. We technically met in World
Oh
at War,
no,
but we played
it was
COD
a
4.
World at War actually. I think. Remember when the like the first map pack? I think it was for World at War where it was like where was broadcast? Was it COD
That
4
was
or?
COD 4. That was COD 4.
So in COD 4, when broadcast came out with like that Chinatown map,
That was a good map.
that was a good map. But it came out so fast after the game release that it came out like within like a month of the game's release.
Yeah,
It
it
came
was way
out
too
so fast
fast.
that a lot of people were like, "Was this originally in the game?" And then they just removed it so that way they could have something to release as a DLC.
I think they came out and said that it was not originally supposed to be in the game. It was just not finished.
I just remember it being a thing. Like it came
Yeah.
out so fast after the game released that it was like, and I wouldn't be surprised if companies do that where
Well,
they take something that they're like, you know what, this isn't
they
like a
definitely do.
huge, wouldn't be a huge thing if we just left it out and brought it into the game in like 3 months, and then that gives us time to make the next DLC.
They definitely do. I'm trying to think of games that I know have done that. The new Civilization is one of them because they left out civilizations to play as, but you had to buy them in packs. Spend a little $20 here, $15 here to buy a pack of like 4 or 5 civilizations. Paradox Interactive is a big culprit of this of DLCs. If you wanted to buy, so Europa Universalis 4, I have almost 800 hours in this game. But if you wanted to buy the entire game, base game and all of its DLC, you're looking at $456.11 if you
That's
wanted to
probably
buy the base game and all the DLC.
That's probably where Destiny sits. If you bought, if I mean, I don't think you can buy everything now, but if you add up everything over time, I'm sure it would be close to. I mean, I've spent 100 the last three: Final Shape, uh, Lightfall, Witch Queen, Beyond Light. Those are all like around $100, so that's 400 just for four. Like the last four, well, the last three DLCs, and then the next one that I already bought. That's not including the base game and the Forsaken Shadowkeep pack that I had to buy to unlock some weapons. That was like another like $20.
And I'm kind of in the middle for both of them. I'm all for these companies getting their money because they're companies and they're in it for the money. But I'm also in it for the consumer where I'm like,
There's going to be like a middle ground.
yeah, there's got to be a middle
There has
ground.
to be a middle ground somewhere.
And who was there's a game coming out that promised that it's the entire game at launch. Oh, Cyberpunk. It was Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk said it was the entire game at launch. And then they're only going to DLC is going to be like the DLC of old days
They
where it's
released a
basically
broken
like
ass game though.
but
So
after about a year it was playable and I had to admit after a year that game was amazing. But that comes back to my thing of I don't want to buy a broken ass game at launch
I
and have to
shouldn't have
wait
to
a
wait.
year.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to wait a year to to do it.
I don't know. That just I hope my thoughts on Starfield help you. I in its state right now, if you're on PC in its state right now, hold off. I don't know about Xbox. Bo is really liking it, so if Bo Bo doesn't have many complaints, so I might say Xbox, you're good. But PC, there's a weird glitch right now where it's almost breaking.
I mean, I don't think that the audio being off is.
No. It's the audio, which then causes the frame issues
Yeah,
where the game freezes. The game's still happening. Like
What are
I
you playing?
almost died
What are you
with
playing?
it freezing.
60? Are you playing at 60?
I'm playing 120.
Playing 120 frames per second?
I got unlocked frames, so I'm up to like 120 frames right now. But then it drops to 1 frame a second almost.
You should try playing at 60.
Like I said, I dropped it down to the lowest settings, and it was locked at 60.
Because Xbox is capped at 30. I'm pretty sure.
I think Xbox can get 60.
My Xbox, the Xbox S or whatever, is capped at 30. I was pretty sure it was both Xboxes were capped at 30 because
I guess I thought they were 60 because that was like a thing to buy it.
No.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry, we're kind of nerding out for the last 20.
Oh my god, it's boring as hell.
All right, I listened to you talk about fucking stupid racing. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
DLC with this game is slow, and it's $500 for add-on shit. Can't you just buy a damn video game and play it, and not have to have $600 for the
You can't
add-on shit?
You can definitely buy just the base game that Universalis game. But it's $14. It's $14 for the base game. But you don't get
but then you got to add all the other shit to your good stuff instead of just.
Oh no, if you want a list, I'll do it right now. I'm gonna look at how much it'll cost to get the game into a good state. The DLCs you'll need to add stuff. So $20 for the base game. 50, 60. It'd probably be about $100 for all the DLC just to get to a state that I would say would be fun.
You know what? Games should be $30 anyway and that's it. $30 and download it because
I think games should go back to $60. But games should be, if you buy it digital, it should be cheaper by $10.
I
digital
agree.
Should be cheaper $10. Disc should be.
You're not buying the packaging. What the hell?
Yeah, this says that Starfield Xbox is capped at 30, and then the article goes on to say something about like we're dreaming of being able to play this at 120 on the PC. So I would try playing it at 60 and see if that like fixes anything.
That might fix my issue.
Maybe they don't have they're not right. Maybe they plan on making it available at 120 and they're just not all the way there yet, and maybe that's why you're having the problem.
Maybe. Yeah.
I would definitely, but yeah, both Xboxes are capped at 30. So I mean, if Xbox is capped at 30, I'm sure playing at 60 frames per second will still look fine for you.
Honestly, after 30 frames, I hate to be that person, and I know I will get some flack from some PC extremists. After 30 frames, you really don't notice much of a difference in a single player game.
Oh yeah, you do.
Competitively, yes, you want better frames.
60.
This I just wanted to look real quick. The human eyes.
I think it's 23 frames a second.
Is that most humans can see at a rate of between 30 to 60 frames per second. So you playing at 120 really doesn't matter because you can't see.
After 60 frames, it's really just a flex. It really is just a flex after 60.
So yeah, you should just try it at 60 and see how it.
Okay.
If you still get that same.
See, Tim, thanks for the info. I'm glad you're here because I would have been bitching if you were here.
As a stoner, I was like, wait a minute, what is the human eye FPS?
Whoa, I am seeing at like 2 frames a second right now.
Yeah, when you're like drunk, that's what it is. It drops down to like fucking 5.
Okay, so this weekend they finally this weekend dropped. I don't know when they did it, but I noticed it this weekend. They finally dropped the English dub of My Hero Academia, and I watched the entire latest season in 2 days. It would have been one day, but I got busy.
How many episodes is that?
15, I think. But they're 30-minute episodes.
What season was
Season 6. It was when they were trying to capture Shigaraki when he was in the tank, and then now he's one for all.
I'm going to announce right now that I have a chance to rule Westeros. I'm just announcing that right now.
You do? Well, I got a couple dragons that will.
Because Joe Jonas is filed for divorce from Sophie Turner. So
that was quick.
yeah, right.
Well,
5 years.
Celebrity weddings never work.
So I'm just saying, I have a shot to, she's into older dopey guys that have no direction in life except to the racetrack. I have a shot.
Hey, I think everybody has a shot.
Right, you got to shoot
It's
your
just
shot,
some
right?
people have more of a shot than others, and
That's
you probably
right.
have if I could tell you, Chris, a metric, you probably have I'll give you a 0.5% chance.
So they're saying there's a chance.
All right, Chris. So what is Glory Stompers?
Glory Stompers. I found these channels like on Xfinity. They're like movie pics and screen pics or whatever. That's PIX, right? For like movie pictures, right? And I came across this movie and I recorded it. It's been in my DVR for a month, called The Glory Stompers. It's from 1967. It's about Chino. Chino is a tough leader of a motorcycle gang who starts off a war when he abducts and mistreats the leader of the enemy biker gang, Daryl, and he kidnaps his girlfriend, Chris. Things get violent when Daryl comes back for revenge. Now, these guys are like real biker dudes. They ain't like the fake biker people, like we talk about from South Park, Right. They're not wearing all the leather and give themselves fake nicknames that aren't really their nickname. Nobody calls them by that except in their biker gang. Like these people lived the biker life. Like they camped out,
The 1%.
Yes. And I can't remember what the name of the biker gangs were. It was that stupid.
Hell's Angels, the
No,
Mongols.
it wasn't even Hell's Angels. It was like, oh God, I can't even think. Now I feel bad, but it's like these horrible names that are like biker name gangs, like Black Souls or something is one of them. Black Souls is one of them. And anyway, so it has Dennis Hopper. He plays Chino, and in his biker gang is Casey Kasem, who we know as the voice of America's Top 40, and Shaggy from all the Scooby Doo episodes.
I think most people that listen to our podcast know him from the Top 40 on the 70s XM channel.
Well, he's on the 80s too. No, he's not. It's just the 60s. It's just the 70s, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the 70s.
I remember him from the 80s, though. I remember like from the 70s and from the 80s. So
I remember him from the controversy of his wife trying to steal his money while he was in a coma.
Right. So basically, the bad guys in the Lost Souls or whatever attacked. Oh, the Glory Stompers. That's the name of the other gang. I'm so stupid.
It's the title of the movie.
I know. So the Black Souls, like, they are hitting on this guy's girlfriend, and she's like, "Don't you want to get out of this biker gang?" And he's like, "No, I'm really cool in a biker gang." So they take off for a ride together, and the Black Souls like come after them, and they think they kill Daryl, but they didn't kill Daryl.
Daryl from The Walking Dead?
No, Daryl from the Glory Stompers.
Oh, okay.
So since they thought they killed Daryl, they kidnapped Chris and his girlfriend. But Daryl wakes up. He gets together with an old Glory Stomper who's decided that he's too old and he needs to just have a normal life. So Daryl and Daryl and the old guy go after Chris, and apparently all biker gangs did in the 60s was drink beer and make out. Like they had big make out sessions. That's all they did. Yeah, with women. Like,
oh,
it was
okay.
like,
I thought this was like the bar from, or the bikers from Police Academy.
No, like it's just like bikers. No, not for police. It's just like they're just the dirty bikers. Like it's like gross dirty bikers and dirty biker chicks, and they live the lifestyle. Anyway, so Daryl and the old guy catch up, and they kill Chino, and they get away, and so Daryl's going to go live a life of normality with his hot girlfriend Chris. That's that's the basis of the Glory Stompers. Um, it's
Perfect.
just but I mean, like these guys were like, how these people have these expensive Harley Davidsons nowadays, right?
Oh my
These were some rough ass Harley Davidson motorcycles. Like the gas tank on it is like rattling around, and like you had to put some leg into starting these bikes. It's not like now.
So this is like the real Harleys before they turned into a luxury item.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Like that's what these
Did
guys.
these so because my dad is selling he has a Honda Goldwing, which is like the Cadillac of motorcycles.
Uh-huh.
And he's selling it for like $8,000. But just random in my head. If anybody wants to buy it, hit me up. I can give you a good deal, I think. And then the reason I brought that up is, you know how you might as well get a brand new car with how expensive some of these Harleys are.
Yeah.
Like the cheapest Harley I can think of is like 20 grand right now new. Let me actually look this up. I'm gonna
Look
look
it
this
up.
up because I'm actually really curious. Keep going while you're doing that. I'm pulling up the pricing.
And like, oh yeah, and they, it was like they were like the real, and then like they had the short handlebars on them, like the real short handlebars, and they had the big thing on the back for the women to lean back on, the biker
Oh, the
bitches.
sissy bars.
Yeah, for the women to lean back on.
Yeah.
And no, they're like legit. Like these were the legit bikers. Like I'm sure there's bikers that still live like this somewhere. I know they used to. I know they're like that down in Florida, California, and I'm sure in the bigger cities there's biker gangs. But it ain't like these people with the fake. Like these people have, like, when this guy's name was Chino, that was his name. He isn't like rich during the week while he goes to work, and he's Chino on the weekends with his biker buddies. He's Chino all day, 24/7, and he is a biker 24/7.
So
He's
the
living.
cheapest Harley right now is $12,000.
How much?
12,000. That's a lot cheaper than I thought.
Well, yeah, but that's like going to get you made fun of. That's like when you buy a Porsche 944, which is essentially
Or a
just a
Miata.
Volkswagen. It's just a Volkswagen. Yeah, but dude, my Miata, they have that Miata Cup series, that MX-5 Miata Cup series. That's some good ass racing.
But no, I when I worked at the liquor store, I liked her. She was really nice. She and her wife bought a brand new Harleys. Each one cost $50,000, both their Harleys.
Oh, I believe it.
And I asked her, I was like, "Why'd you get such an expensive?" Because this is when I rode my bike, and I had a not a brand new, but pretty brand new Kawasaki Vulcan.
Uh-huh.
I got it for $7,000, and I thought it looked better than their Harleys.
Oh
Granted,
yeah, you can
my
get nice
bike didn't
bikes cheap. That's for
my
sure.
bike didn't have radio, didn't have the flat screen GPS, like didn't have the touch screen stuff like your car has, didn't have heat. It was just a bike, and that's all you need. You don't. What happened to the days? This is me turning into old man. What happened to the days of you getting a bike for hitting the road, not for like the amenities on it?
And then you,
That's my rant for the day. I'm sorry.
no, you're right, because I don't want to hear some guy's loud ass radio playing Metallica because you think it's cool when you're in a traffic jam. I just don't want to hear it. It's unnecessary.
And I hate Harleys because they're unnecessarily loud.
Yes, they're very unnecessarily loud.
My Vulcan was very quiet. My Honda
It,
Shadow was loud and I didn't like it, but my Vulcan was very quiet.
they don't have to be that loud. These were loud because they're
Tim,
Harley biker.
you're very bad sound. I'm sorry.
Yeah, your sound sucks. Just like you do.
Hello.
Hello.
What? So yeah, so Glory Stompers, it's not a horrible movie. Like, I don't regret watching it. I love watching movies from like that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just to think who was thinking this and who wrote this and why, and they were dancing. They were dancing. You know, motorcycle gangs that hated each other. And
Did they go
fight.
bike dancing and go ass
No, they
sliding?
didn't go bike dancing or ass sliding. They didn't do anything like that. They just got into fights and stuff, and they just made out with women all the time. That's all they did was make out with women, and they wore a lot of denim. There was no leather. It was all denim vests, jeans, no shirt.
The Canadian tuxedo.
The
Boots
denim,
with the fur.
like the bone necklaces. Real 60ish. It was very 60ish. The hairstyle, everything about it was very 60ish. So I thought it was kind of cool. It wasn't even 90 minutes long, so not that big of a deal. I didn't waste my time. I enjoyed it. But I like those dopey movies anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chris, I thought you would appreciate this. The other day I'm at work and I don't know which one it was, but Indiana Jones was on. It's the one where the guy like swings his little scimitar around and then Indy just shoots him in the face.
That's the first one.
Okay, so it was the first one. I totally forgot that it was kind of like a comedy because in that whole fight scene, like when the guys show up and they're chasing her, she jumps in like a little pot. She like puts the cover down. There's like Indy like hits somebody and they like swing their sword back. They hit the guy behind them and then he swings and hits somebody else. They all fall down. I'm like, what am I watching? The damn Three Stooges?
That's exactly what it was like.
I was cracking up. I was like, I totally forgot that this was a hilarious scene.
Yeah, it was, and that's the way it was set up.
I was waiting.
That's
It
a
was
fun
right
movie.
It was right when they first get there, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna just watch this. But I made the girls in the break room watch it for like 5 minutes because I wanted to see the scene where he shot the guy in the chest after he did his little sword swing shit, looking cool. And that whole time leading up, I was like, I was expecting someone to hold a ladder and like start knocking down their like buddies behind them.
Well, the whole sword swinging thing, and he just shot him. That was supposed to be like an actual like sword fight scene, but Harrison Ford had like the flu or something. I forget what exactly he had.
Dysentery.
Yeah, he had dysentery, and he wasn't feeling it, so he just shot him with his gun. And the guy went with it.
The best thing in that episode. So when that part of the episode of the movie, that part of the movie, is while that guy's swinging the sword around, there's a guy in the background with like a meat cleaver, and like he's like just mailing it in with the meat cleaver, like he's just barely, and he's just with this one hand just hitting the table with his meat cleaver. Is the funniest crap. It's funny. You got to look in the background when the guy's swinging the sword, and you'll see the guy with the meat cleaver in the background, like doing absolutely nothing.
I'm gonna have to go back now.
It's hysterical. But yeah, Gory Stompers. It's like I said, it's a Dennis Hopper movie. There was a whole run of movies, biker movies back then. The Wild Angels, the Miniskirt Mob, Hell's Angels on Wheels. That late '60s, for some reason, that '60s era, the Rebel Rousers, 1970, Devil's Angels in '67. There were a lot of biker gang movies out at that. That must have been just the run. You know what I mean? And they're all shitty B movies. So,
well,
Hell's
it's like
Bells.
now everything's got to be a Marvel movie.
Well, yeah, everything's got to be superhero, right?
It was just a thing. They had one or two good ones, so everyone tried to copy it.
Yes.
And then they couldn't do it. And they moved to the next one.
Ooh, Naked Angels. I'm gonna have to check this one out.
Whatever those movies are that like make fun of other movies. I can't think of what they're called.
Like parody movies?
Yeah, like the parody movies. Like there was a good like 5 to 10 years where there was a parody movie out like every.
Yeah, but they were funny, man. Them Naked Gun movies, and then they did Hot Shots, and they did the Naked Gun, and they did.
Naked Gun's hilarious.
Naked Gun is so freaking hilarious. So is Hot Shots. Hot Shots is funny.
I've never seen that. Didn't we show Baron Naked Gun?
Naked Gun, yeah, he had never seen it before.
Oh, great movies.
Great. And then you got the of course, Mel Brooks with Blazing Saddles.
Talk about movies that couldn't be made today.
Young Frankenstein. Dracula Dead and Loving It is an underestimated, very underrated movie, Mel Brooks movies. Dracula Dead and Loving It. It is so funny. Spaceballs, well, yeah, was another one. High Anxiety. He makes fun of Alfred Hitchcock movies. So
Oh,
yeah, they don't do that crap anymore. I miss that whole era. It's all
Disaster.
shitty ass movies.
yeah.
But yeah, I watched that. Since I was home a lot all the weekend. I watched
Home a lot. You were home the entire stinking
the
time.
whole weekend. I watched that. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Let me tell you, Christopher Robin promised Winnie the Pooh that he would never leave him, and what did he do? Left him because he grew up and went to college. Then what? Christopher Robin tries to go back to 100 Acre Woods to make everything better, and Pooh is not having it. Him and Piglet are pissed off. They go on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food because they don't have any food. So only the Pooh only says 2 words in the whole movie.
What's he say? What's his words?
You left.
Oh,
But Pooh and Piglet go on a freaking rampage and they're just killing people. They kill this group of women. It's like comical the way these people are dying in this movie. I mean, it's bloody as hell. I'm not gonna lie, but it is a fun movie. It only got a 2.9 on the IMDb rating. Right?
I remember people were really hyped for it, but it kind of, I don't want to say it flopped, but it didn't do good.
It flopped, and yeah, it's got a 2 point Metascore of 16. It is so much fun. It is everything I expected, which was stupidity and ridiculousness. I think people I think they I think they want they I think they expect a lot out of these movies.
Yeah.
It's Winnie the Pooh killing people. That's all you should expect. Your only expectation and wonder is how is he going to kill people? Why is he killing people? They cover that perfectly. I highly suggest it.
It's like when the first Pacific Rim came out, and people were complaining because it wasn't, the story wasn't that good, but like the whole argument was it's giant robots versus giant monsters. What more do you need?
Right. Exactly. And that's what this is. It's Pooh and Piglet just whacking people. And they don't even care. It's ridiculous. It is a ridiculous movie. I give it of a crazy kind of. I mean, as far as a great movie, it's about a 4 out of 10. But it's a fun movie. If you're looking for fun and ridiculousness, it's like an 8.
Jeez,
So I recommend it.
kind of makes me think of Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
It's on that level of stupidity. It really is. It's not believable. There's nothing believable whatsoever about this movie. Much like Tucker and Dale. I just watched that last week. That is a great movie.
Criminally underrated.
I did. On a side note, I did watch Fire in the Sky yesterday, which is still a great movie. Have you not seen that, Chris?
No.
You would like it. It's based on a true story. It's about a guy that was abducted by aliens in the 70s, and he returned 5 days later. And his buddies that were part of it that saw the abduction and everything, they all took lie detector tests and they all passed. It's a really good movie. It's got D.B. Sweeney in it, who was really good. Robert Patrick, who was the T-1000, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in it. Jim Rockford's in it. James Garner, Noble Willingham. He's in it. He's been in a lot of movies. He's a character actor. You would recognize him if you saw him. Henry Thomas from E.T. is in it. It's a good movie. You should check it out. It's on Prime. You've got Amazon. I watched.
I actually dropped Amazon Prime.
Oh, did you?
I dropped Amazon Prime because I don't really buy a lot of stuff, and Kimberly has Amazon Prime, so we'll just move over to hers.
I mostly keep Prime for like all the rewards that I get from Prime, like for gaming.
Yeah, that was the only thing that kind of kept me. But at the same time, I was like, I don't use
Like
a lot of these rewards.
I get ship stuff, I get tank stuff, I get Destiny stuff, I got State of Decay stuff. There's like tons of nonsense that's not, and I don't even count like all of like the free trials that Prime gives you and shit. I just don't use them.
But I also canceled Disney Plus.
I canceled Disney Plus. Mine ends in November.
Mine does too. But we're moving over to her parents. Because I'm saving like $300 in subscriptions because I canceled both of them. So it's like
Yeah,
You know,
it's whatever.
I
you
don't
know what
watch it
you
enough.
cancel? Paramount Plus.
Well, I'm the only one that has it, so I'm not going to cancel it. I don't have anyone to get it
That's a
from.
good. Yeah, Paramount Plus is good. That and
I
HBO,
Oh yeah.
I enjoy.
I have
Hulu's
Paramount
pretty good
Plus
too.
If you didn't have if you dropped HBO, Chris, I'd probably pick it up.
Right. Yeah, that's yeah. I enjoy. I watch HBO way too much to drop it though. I don't
Yeah.
think I'll ever drop it.
Well,
Um,
I thought about like asking for like like people on my I have a lot of people on my Disney, and I thought about asking like, hey, could you guys spot me, a little bit of money? But I'm like, you know what? Plenty of other people have Disney, so it's whatever.
Yeah, I have Paramount, Chris. If you want to use mine, I just don't. I don't have like the
Ad free.
premium,
No,
the
I'm
ad
okay
free.
because I really want the ad free, and I don't mind paying for it. Like I think now that is the Paramount's. I'm trying to think of what I pay for. Paramount is the only one I pay for now. I got
yeah.
Hulu through her parents. I got. I think we're thinking about actually getting Netflix again because there's a lot of good stuff on Netflix. We kind of miss it.
Netflix coming out with a lot of good anime.
Yeah, that.
Well, there's a lot of other
So
stuff. I
they have
like their
a lot of
documentary
good like
shit.
just 10 off episode anime that just come out and just to see how they do, and they're all. I mean, I've seen
Well, there's
plenty
a lot of
of like on TikTok and shit like that, and a lot of them are pretty good.
there's a lot of anime on Netflix that only like make are really good, but they only make it one season for some reason.
Yeah, so I'm saying they just make like a 10 shot season, and then I feel like judging if it does like really, really good, maybe they'll do a second season.
Yeah, there was one I really wish they did another season of. I think it was no, there was two. It was like oh, I forget the name of it. It was Cannon Busters or something. And then
No
the
Game
other one,
No Life is a
what?
is a good No Game No Life is a good one.
I'll have to look that up.
I don't know what it's on right now, but it's one of those that's just like 12 episodes or something. They're
Yeah,
probably gonna there's like more, it's like a manga, so there's like a lot of seasons that they could make in the future, but it's like two kids that get dropped off in like a another world, but the world is run by like games. So like the very first episode, some like mugger comes up to them, and the only way he can do anything is if he beats them at a game. But this brother and sister are like a prodigy team of like gamers. They can think like thousands of moves ahead, and where one lacks skill, the other one has. So it's a couple of them become like king of the land in like the very first episode. So it's
your
pretty.
mic is a little messed up again, Tim. It sounds like you're
I'm just
like
a little far.
robotic.
I'm just a little too far away from my headphone.
Xbox, turn off.
Um,
No, so the two Netflix ones that I was talking about, I can't remember the names. It was God Eater, which is based off of a show, a game, I think. It was really good, God Eater, and then
is it
Cannon Busters.
better? Do I sound better?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right. And then the final movie that I watched that I enjoyed way more than I probably should have and expected to was Barbie.
I'm a Barbie girl in
Dude,
a
that movie
Barbie
is freaking
world.
hilarious. Everybody's named Barbie. Like everybody in
Hi,
Barbie Land.
Barbie.
Hi Barbie. Yeah, that's what it is. Hi Barbie. Hi Barbie. Hi Barbie. And everybody's named Ken. And like the men, like
Oh, hi, Mark.
the Kens in Barbie world are like nothing. Like they're just she has no interest in Ken whatsoever. The funniest one is Alan. So Alan is supposed to be Ken's best friend, and I guess it's from the '60s. And actually, he's the one that got with Skipper and married Skipper, and Skipper had a baby. And this is all like legit, like in the Barbie line. Like there was a pregnant Skipper in the '90s, and they sold it, but they made it look like that Skipper was a whore and like she was a single mama. So they had to put Alan in the background of the packaging. They had to repackage the doll. So they had to, and they had to say that Skipper was with Alan. And what's his name from Super Bad plays Alan. Christopher Mintz the other kid. Michael Cera. Michael Cera plays Alan,
Mhm.
He's like this dorky doll that everybody ignores. Like Ken don't even pay attention to him, and he is freaking hysterical the whole movie. He's like, "Hi, Barbie." "Oh, hi, Alan." Like nobody gives a shit about Alan, but everybody's Ken and everybody's Barbie, and every Ken is ripped, every Barbie is hot, and so Barbie she starts questioning whether like life and death, so she goes to the real world, and Ken tags along with her. And of course, they get made fun of all the time, right? But the best part is like when Ken figures out what it's like to be a man. He goes to the library, and it's like he's got a big 4x4 Bronco pickup truck, and he's really into horses and dressing like a cowboy because that's what men do. And then he starts singing "Push" by Matchbox 20 because he's all manly now. It is freaking hysterical. It is a funny movie. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I would watch it again, honestly. It's that funny. Um, then they kind of figure out that women don't rule the whole world because they only rule the world in Barbie land, but not in the real world. Men rule, which is true. You know, that's the joke, is that men rule the world. And uh, Kate McKinnon plays broke Barbie, like Barbie that's had her hair cut, and she's like crazy Barbie because that's what girls do to Barbies. They cut their hair and put marker all over their face. But I highly recommend it. I watched it on my TV. So if you can figure out how to find Barbie, I recommend watching Barbie.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure I could find it if I really wanted to.
it's real, dude. I'm not lying. You will enjoy it. It is a funny movie. I was concerned that it was going to be, oh, it's men bashing. Of course, it's men bashing because it's Barbie. It's Barbie's world. You know what I mean? Barbie rules her world.
It's
That's
not Ken's world, it's Barbie's
it's
world.
exactly, and that's exactly what it's about. It is about, and it's, he's like, Ken's like, you better stop. I'm gonna beat you off. I'll beat you off real good. To like the other kid. Oh, you want to beat me off? I'll beat you off. So there's some innuendo going on there, but talking about having beach offs. So, um, with the other kids, but it's a good movie. I recommend it. You can if you're seeing, oh, it's political and you're reading way too much into the movie. It makes fun of society as a whole is what it does. And how girls don't play with Barbies anymore. That's essentially what the issue is. The girls that play with Barbies are like, they wish their daughters would play with Barbies. That's the people that want to play with Barbies. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not little girls. Like a lot of little girls don't do Barbies anymore. So, but it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. Watch it. Better than I thought it would be. I'm glad I didn't pay money for it because that would have just been me weird, going to the movie by myself to see Barbie. But check it out.
All right.
Another
I'll bring up.
highly recommended show, Lower Decks season 4.
Yeah, Lower Deck season 4.
It's gonna be a
I
double feature on tomorrow night.
I
First
hope
two
they do
episodes.
I hope they do another crossover episode somehow. Maybe with Discovery.
I think they would have already announced it. And Discovery's last season is releasing in the first quarter of the next year. So I
Well,
don't think.
that'd be the one that the next show up, so that it'd work in my opinion.
But I think it's already made. So I feel like they would have already said. I mean, they could be keeping it under wraps, and it would be in Discovery and not in Lower Decks. But it would be better if it went the opposite way this time. One thing I'm kind of hoping that they address in this isn't Lower Decks, but Discovery rather, in the next season of Discovery, in the last season. I don't know if you ever watched any of those Star Trek shorts that are on Paramount.
I
There's like
watched
a
some of them.
there's like a whole list of them. Did you watch the one where the dude is on the ship all by himself?
No.
So there's this like random guy that's not part of like the crew or anything, and he comes across, or like his ship is about to blow up, and you know how like the Discovery ship has that like AI since like the last
Yeah.
season or whatever. So the AI is so Discovery's all by itself. Its crew isn't there. There's nobody on the ship, and so the ship takes it upon itself to save this man drifting in space. And then like he's like talking to her, talking to the ship, and the ship reveals to him that she was ordered by the captain to wait to hold position until
Oh, I think I have seen that one.
until the crew got back.
Yeah.
And we like tried to that short came out before season 3 came out. So it was before they got launched into the future. So I believe I would hope that they still, because all of all of the other shorts don't matter because they already happened or would have happened. Like the one with like the little Ephraim and Dot, the one that's like for the beginning of Picard, like the children, I think it's called like Children of Mars or whatever. Those two girls are like
Yeah.
fighting each other in school essentially, and then both of their parents are killed on Mars. So that's that. Like all of the other ones have already happened. So I would hate for it to be the only one that doesn't get a finale like story, because I'm kind of curious like what would I always was like what like where did the crew go, like how, like I was thinking maybe the ship got like sent, they all got sent back in time somehow, and then themselves went to the future, like went back to the future without the ship, and Burnham told the ship to hold position until I come back, meaning like when I find you in the future you'll still be like right here because I told you to hold position. But then I'm like, I don't know if the ship would, how far in the past they would have traveled, because how long could the ship stay undetected in the same spot for hundreds of years, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like just one thing I hope they like solve in season 5 Discovery. But yes, the next season of Lower Decks should be pretty good. There was really no cliffhanger of last season except for what's her face? The little exocomp was like plotting something, so there's probably going to be something to do with like that.
I
But
don't
aside
really
from that,
watch Lower Decks for the story. I watch it for the comedy. I hate to say it, but that's how I am for that.
it was good.
All right. I will leave my Star Wars thing to the next one because it'll still be relevant.
It's still
if I
shitty, yeah.
remember. All right. So you can catch us at Hoosier Nerds on Facebook, Pod Nerds on Twitter.
Twitter.
Not me on Twitter because I'm still banned.
On X.
On X. You can listen to us and watch us at YouTube.
Trump's already got back on Twitter, and you can't.
I know. I can't get back on Twitter. I didn't even promote an insurrection. And then you can listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and Amazon.
And you'll never wonder who's your nerds.
That's us.
Nerd.
Rhythm.